and I washed my hair and I had a towel on my head. And I got a call. No, I didn't. I got an email. I logged in and I got an email that I have a meeting. And so I logged in and I seen that I had a meeting, but then I seen that the meeting was with HR. But I knew, being there for 20 years, you kind of understand what that meeting means. So, anyways, I said, "Oh, they're letting me go." I never thought they would have let me go, especially at that point in time. Maybe before, but not at this time. Anyways, I said, "Let me turn on the screen so they can see me, because they're not going to let me go and not see me." So I take off my towel and I look and I turn on the screen. My manager was there, and she literally was on the screen for like 3 seconds, and she's like, "Melissa, um, we are going to terminate you immediately, and I'm going to let HR talk to you." And she just got off the screen, and I was like, "Okay." And so HR came on and they were reading something to me, saying, "Okay, they're letting me go with no cause. You're going to get a package. We appreciate all the work you've done." And then they allow you to speak to a therapist right after to make sure that you're okay. So after I spoke with a therapist, she's like, "Are you a Christian?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And she goes, "How are you going to deal with this?" And I said, "I've never been fired like this before. So what I'm going to do is, just after this conversation, I'm just going to go talk to God, because I don't know how to feel. I don't know how I'm feeling. I can't lie to you because it just happened." Anyways, I got off the call and I went to go pray, and I was crying. Um, I felt a little bit of a joy, because I'm like, okay, I'm going to get time off. I don't know what I'm going to do. Anyways, 2 weeks later, I went into a depression, because I've been at this job for 20 years. I don't know what to do or what to say. So months go by, I'm praying and I'm talking to people, and they're saying, "Oh, Melissa, don't worry, God has you." And I couldn't see it. I don't understand what's going on. Needless to say, I was on my phone scrolling, and they were offering a job for me to be a PSW. And I said, what is a PSW? Like, but what encouraged me is that they said they're going to pay me $5,000 to do this job. I said, "I'm in. $5,000. And so I signed up, and they called me and they said, "Okay, we're going to take you into the school, and these are your days. You're going to work. I mean, you're going to be in school Mondays and Fridays, and the rest of the days you're going to be doing it at home." And I said, "Okay, what time Friday?" And she's like, "Oh, from 7 to 10. I said, "School from 7 p.m. to 10. She's like, I'm sorry, I can't, because Friday's my Sabbath. I can't work. I mean, I can't go to school." And she goes, "Okay, can you do every other Friday?" I said, "No, I can't." And she's like, "I'm sorry, Melissa, I can't enroll you." So I said, "Okay, fine." Then I went back on my phone and I registered again. And this lady called me and she's like, "Melissa, you've been accepted into enrolling for this PSW course." And I said, "Okay, let me ask you, what days are they going to do the classes?" And she's like, "Monday to Thursday, from 8 to like 3. I said, "No Fridays?" She's like, "No Fridays." And I said, "Thank you, Jesus." Needless to say, I do the course, and I was worried because I haven't been in school for over 20 something years. And my kids were encouraging, "Oh, Mom, you got this, don't worry." And I'm like, okay. I was nervous. I do the course, and then at the end, you have to do an exam, a government exam. And I was so nervous because the teacher told us, "I don't know exactly what the exam's going to, I know what the exam's going to be on, but they don't let us see the exam, so I can't tell you exactly what to study for." Anyways, I study for the exam. I do the practice test online, and I go into the exam, and I'm sweating. So because when you're doing this exam, the camera's on you, and if you look right or left, they fail you. So I'm doing the exam. The exam is about 2.5 hours. I notice that the time is approaching, and I go over the 2.5 hours, and I'm still sweating. And the last question, I didn't get. It just takes me out. It says time is up. So at the end, I come out and I say to the man, "You know what? I don't think I passed this exam. I didn't pass this exam because I ran out of time, and the questions were hard. And he's like, Melissa, don't worry. And I said, no, I'm gonna pay right now for the second exam. And he's like, Melissa, I'm asking you. It's Friday. Just go home. They email you the results. And I'm like, okay, but listen, I'm just gonna leave. I'm gonna leave you some money so I can do the exam because I just want to get it over and done with. He's like, Melissa, I'm not taking your money. He's like, just wait for the exam, and you know what? If you fail, they'll tell you exactly what you failed on the exam, and then you could study for what you failed. And I said, what? And I was so nervous. I went home. I'm crying. I called my family. I called my uh, spiritual advisor. I'm crying, and she says, Melissa, we prayed for this exam. Don't worry about the exam. And I'm saying to her, you don't understand. The questions were so hard. I don't know what happened. And she's like, Melissa, do you believe in God? And I said, yes, of course. I said, but I pressed the buttons. It was, I didn't know what I did. And she's like, Melissa, God will take you through. She goes, God will never leave you. God understands exactly what's going on. And I'm like, I get off the phone and I'm saying to myself, maybe she doesn't understand what I'm talking about. Needless to say, Monday comes and I said, I went to church on the Friday and I said, you know what, I'm not going to check my email. I'm just going to pray about it. And Sabbath, I'm not going to look at my emails. I'm not going to do anything. For some reason, Sunday, I didn't even look at my emails. God must have took it from my mind. And then Monday, I get the email and it says that you passed. And I said, what? I had to check the email. I had to open it, close it again, open it again. And I checked it and it says you passed. And I promise you this, I did not pass that exam. God literally passed that exam for me. And they called me from the school and they're like, Melissa, did you see that you passed this exam? And I said, yes, it said that I passed. And I was so unsure, but God had to draw me up and say to me, you prayed and asked me to do something for you. And you didn't trust me. But I need you to know that I am God. I can do all things. And I promise you today that because of that situation, today I trust God in a way that I thought I did before. But I trust him in everything, in my trials, in everything that I'm going through in life. And I say this testimony to tell you, no matter what's going on in your life, and no matter even if you don't understand it, how deep it is and how naturally it seems like the worst thing that could be going on in life. God knows exactly what's going on in your life. He understands what's going on in your life. But trust him. Be faithful to him and trust him and stay into his word. Thank you for your time.